You ever watch a scary scene and just wonder, how did they do that? How did they make me feel so scared? Well, it's not some kind of dark magic. It's actually a blueprint. And today, we're not just going to watch the horror. We're going to take apart the very instructions a creator uses to build it. So let's dive in. All right, so here it is. This is our source material. You can think of it as our recipe for terror. This single prompt contains every single ingredient needed to cook up a nightmare. We're going to break this blueprint down piece by terrifying piece to really understand the mechanics of fear. So, this brings us to the big question, right? I mean, a creepy tree is one thing and fog is another, but how do they actually work together? How does a creator turn a simple list of words into that feeling? You know the one, that genuine, heart pounding fear. That's what we're here to find out. Okay, first things first. Before a single character ever appears, before you hear a single sound, the most important job is to build the world. It's all about crafting an atmosphere where fear can't just exist, it can actually thrive. Now, what's so interesting here is how a single choice from the prompt, just setting the scene at night, completely flips the entire environment on its head. A jungle by day, it's lush, it's full of life, it's pretty predictable. But that exact same jungle at night, whoa, it becomes this disorienting maze of shadows, where every little sound could be a hidden threat. The familiar becomes menacing. Let's pull out another key ingredient here, fog. What does fog really do in a scene like this? Well, it attacks our primary sense, our sight. It creates this claustrophobic bubble right around you, isolating you from everything else. You literally can't see what's coming, and that uncertainty feeds one of our most primal fears, the fear of the unknown. The prompt uses a really specific word here, Dharauna or Dharavana. And this is so crucial. It's not asking for a cheap jump scare, something that makes you pop out of your seat for a second. It's asking for a pervasive, a lingering feeling of dread. It's that kind of fear that just seeps into your bones and stays there, that unshakable sense that something is deeply, deeply wrong. And here's a perfect example of how you build that dread. The prompt doesn't just say a tree, it specifically says a creepy tree with moving branches. You see what that does? It gives a static, totally normal object a sinister, almost predatory intelligence. All of a sudden, the landscape itself isn't neutral anymore. It's alive, it's watching, and it just might be hostile. So, we've got our unsettling stage all set. Now, let's look at how the prompt starts to build on that foundation by adding active things, the sights and sounds that are designed to directly assault our senses. Sound is such a powerful tool because it kind of bypasses our rational brain. Whispering voices are incredibly effective. Why? Because they imply there's an unseen, intelligent presence that's close, really close, but just out of sight. Then you layer on intense background music, which directly manipulates our emotional state, raising our heart rate and basically telling our body to be afraid, even if our mind isn't quite sure why yet. And get this, the prompt even calls for realistic lighting and shadows. This is not just some technical detail for the film crew. Horror creators know that what you conceal in shadow is often way more terrifying than what you reveal in the light. Our own imagination is the greatest monster maker there is, and shadows give it the perfect dark canvas to work with. Okay, so we've built the world, we've filled it with these unnerving sights and sounds, but to make it truly effective, we need a story. We need a human anchor to guide us through this nightmare and to give it all some structure. And this brings us to an absolutely essential element, the scared boy. So why is he so important? Because he's our surrogate. He's us. We see the fear on his face, we feel his hesitation, and we experience the scene through his eyes. His visible terror gives us permission to be afraid too, and that makes the whole experience so much more personal and intense. And here's how the prompt structures that final payoff. It's like a classic three-act structure, but in miniature. Step 1, the approach. The boy walks to the tree. That's just pure suspense, stretching the tension. Step 2, the reveal. A ghost face pops out. That's the scare we were anticipating. But then the prompt adds one more layer, a shocking twist ending. And that's the narrative payoff that elevates this whole thing from a simple scare into a memorable story. So let's bring it all together. Why is this prompt so effective? Well, the power isn't in any single ingredient. It's not just the fog or the whispers or the boy. The real genius is how they all work together, how they synergize into a complete recipe for fear. And this table just lays it all out so perfectly. Each element in that prompt is precisely targeted. The jungle at night creates disorientation to trigger our fear of the unknown. The fog and shadows obscure our vision to make us feel helpless. The whispering voices suggest an unseen presence that fuels our paranoia. And that scared boy, he's an emotional mirror, tapping right into our own sense of vulnerability. And that is really the ultimate takeaway here. Effective horror is not an accident. It is a meticulously constructed experience. Every single word in that prompt, from the setting all the way to that final twist, is a deliberate choice. It's like putting another gear into a machine whose only purpose is to generate fear. So we'll leave you with this. Now that you have the anatomy of a scare, the blueprint for a nightmare, you understand the ingredients and you know how they fit together. The only question left is, what scare would you build?